turned into a solid recruiter, has recruited this state very, very well. And his SMU Mustangs will have the ball first after TCU won the toss and deferred. Kevin Johnson, one of two back to return for this SMU team, and Cole Bunce, kickoff specialist, will get us going on a Friday night between TCU and SMU. Let's do it. Big Saturday coming up. We started off right, and out to the 25-yard line will come the SMU offense. 2 wins this year. They had 3 wins combined in 2014 and 2015. Now in their second year under Chad Morris, and with Matt Davis lost for the year due to a knee injury in the opener, now it's the redshirt freshman Ben Hicks at quarterback.
Guy's super competitive. He's made some great plays for him, Adam. Tonight they want him to be more consistent and not force turnovers, especially in the red zone. That's where they've had a tough time scoring points.
This is an offense that is averaging 491 yards per game, but only 25 points per game. And the biggest reason why is 5 red zone interceptions. On first down, a big hole for Braden West. He had 220 yards a week ago. He picks up 8 yards there. And on this side of the ball, Mac, who's going to impact tonight?
Well, for SMU, number 18, Cortland Sutton. He's tall, he's fast, and he'll be tough downfield for the deep ball against the smaller defensive backs from TCU.
Hicks to fire. Right on cue. It's Sutton. And Cortland Sutton inside the 30-yard line of TCU. What a start for the Mustangs.
Well, and this bunch is moving it so fast. They're up there again. On defense, it'll be number 32, Traven Howard, because he can stay in the game. And against a tempo offense moving as fast as SMU's moving, he is a hybrid, and you don't have to substitute.
They want to re-spot the football at the 30-yard line, so it's a 37-yard pass play. And Cortland Sutton is a threat downfield and on third down. Right back to West, and he powers his way forward for about 2 yards. This is an offense that is missing Xavier Jones, their sophomore out of Spring, Texas, who is missing his 3rd consecutive game due to a hamstring injury. So West has become the feature back the last couple of weeks. Empty set for Hicks. To Sutton and too tall. Incomplete, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Probably the best compliment the TCU coaches could give us about the big guy, Cortland Sutton, is the fact that he looks like Josh Dodson.
Yeah,
and that was
right.
a guy that wasn't highly recruited, but has grown into such a tremendous player. And that's what we've seen Sutton do over the last 2 years.
Flag is thrown. This is a free play. Looking downfield for Sutton. Leaping high. Incomplete. Out of bounds. In front of Tony James. They went right back there, but this was a free play and a penalty. Clearly out of bounds.
Offside. Defense, number 40, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So James McFarland gets tagged with it. Good heads-up play by Hicks. Saw the flag, immediately looked for Sutton.
Well, and good job by the young quarterback of pulling TCU's defense off sides.
Yep.
They're going to worry about the pass rush throughout the night. He's changing up the snap count. Just needs to throw that ball inside and give Sutton a chance to jump up and catch it for the score.
3rd down and 3. Blitz off the edge, gets picked up, and a quick pass to the sticks for Xavier Castile, and he's got the 1st down to the 15-yard line. There was pressure, and Hicks had some protection and got rid of it fast.
Very impressive throw by Hicks, and impact player for TCU, Traven Howard, misses the tackle.
Here is West, got wrapped around the shoulder pads and ripped down at the 8-yard line by Denzel Johnson, a 7-yard run. They can get a 1st down at the 5-yard line without scoring. On 2nd down, it's a give to West and a penalty flag for a false start.
Adam, I don't think I've ever seen a team go faster on a first drive.
Offense,
they
number
obviously
71,
want to get
5-yard
TCU
penalty.
on their heels.
2nd down.
They don't want them to be able to bring a lot of zone and zone and man blitzes. So they're going so fast that TCU's having trouble lining up.
This is a faster Chad Morris offense. Joe Craddock is the offensive coordinator. After the Briggs penalty, they've got to go back 5 yards. And Ben Hicks is out of the game, and they insert Kamen Freeman. Due to the red zone interceptions, we thought they might shift things inside the 20. Freeman keeps on the zone read, and Kamen Freeman to the edge, and Kamen Freeman towards the pylon. A penalty marker's thrown on the play as well as he got to the edge. We'll have to check the flag for Dan Romeo and this Big 12 officiating crew. So an interesting early call for this crew.
Holding. Offense. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
That is Cortland Sutton, the receiver, who got tagged with that holding penalty. So negate the gain of the first down and or the touchdown for SMU.
Great move by Chad, though. If you look at Chad Morris, he's had trouble in the red zone. He told us we would see some different things. Freeman going in for the score. Sutton gets his hands to the outside. Anytime you turn those shoulder pads, they're going to throw a flag.
Basically like a hook or a turn. They're going to tag you for that penalty.
Let him go. Come on, Cortland. You got the touchdown. Let him go. Got in front of him.
So Hicks is back in on second down and 8. A fake to Freeman underneath for Castile, and stumbling forward for a short gain. It'll set up third down and about 2 yards here to try to pick up to keep this drive alive.
With a third down and 2, you could very well try to get it on a running play and go for a fourth down and short. You just don't want to lose yards in this situation.
So again, Hicks is out for SMU, and they bring in Kamen Freeman. He was a high school quarterback, an outstanding emergency quarterback here to have for this SMU team. He was a dual threat. And trying to run the draw play, he got ripped down by Aaron Curry. Curry read it well, a short gain of about a yard, and it sets up fourth down. And let's see what the decision is going to be early in this game. Kicking unit's going to come on, Coach. What do you think?
Well, I'm a little surprised because I would have gone for it because he's got so much momentum. But I think what Chad's thinking is big ball game. We need to get some points and be rewarded for such a good opening drive.
It has been a spectacular opening drive that started back at the 25-yard line. So Josh Williams, who is 6 of 7 in his short SMU career so far, will try a chip shot from 23 yards. Sean Tui Jr. is the holder. And a good start for SMU. This is what they were hoping for. Points on the board to start the night against their rival. Did in July, navigating through what was an awful time in this great city, dealing with the ambush of 5 police officers. SMU is honoring those officers tonight with a helmet decal, the uniforms with the all blue that they're wearing tonight. And with everything going on over the course of these last several weeks, this was a nice sight to see here in Dallas with David Brown, who's, as we said, done a fantastic job. SMU, good start to this game, 3-0 lead. They got points on the opening drive, and Deontay Gray, who's starting to become a 3-way player for TCU, is going to take that spot as a return man with Cavante Turpin out. Gray will field it and step out of bounds at the 10-yard line. He lets that one go out of bounds. They're spotted at the 35. So he just cost him 25 yards of field position for his quarterback, Kenny Hill.
Well, and I think we also see where they're missing Turpin.
Sure.
Turpin's the kick returner. He's used to that. He's put himself in those positions before, but now Kenny Hill has to lead him to answer and try to get some points on the board in the first drive.
There are 2 teams in college football that had to replace a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 1,000-yard receiver, TCU and Bowling Green. But this is a pretty good guy to have at the quarterback position in Kenny Hill, taking over for Trevon Boykin. No Cavante Turpin on the offensive end tonight. He's got Kyle Hicks, the leading rusher for TCU, behind him. A fake to Hicks and a quick strike to the outside for John Diarse, the transfer from LSU, and he works his way to the 15-yard line after a 4-yard gain. Horace Richardson was there trying to pump the ball away. That is Diarse in motion. Blitz coming from SMU, and Hicks over the middle into traffic, and Jerrison.
Quick quarterback for TCU, and obviously number 21, Kyle Hicks. With Turpin out of the game, he is a really good pass receiver out of the backfield. You'll see him get a lot of touches tonight.
Empty set on third down, and SMU showing pressure. Blitz coming on 3rd and 1, and Stewart cannot handle it over the middle, and he took a pop by Darian Malines as well at the end of the play. 4th down.
Tell you, when you're TCU and you're coming into a game like this, you do not want to let the other bunch get excited. And right now, SMU's excited. They took it down and scored. The defense gets a 3 and out, and they look very confident and very aggressive on both sides of the ball.
So Cortland Sutton is going to get a shot to return, as Adam Nunez is the new punter replacing Ethan Perry for TCU. Fair catch signaled, and good field position coming near the 40-yard line for SMU.
Cortland Sutton with the fair catch.
The Saturday on ABC Big Ten opener between Penn State and Jim Harbaugh's number 4 Michigan Wolverines. James Franklin, can he get the big win? He's 0-5 at Penn State against AP-ranked teams. And then we've got a good one. This is going to be a big test. Couple of weeks in a row, Stanford goes on the road. UCLA this week, Washington next week, trying to stay unbeaten through this gauntlet of a stretch. Good doubleheader on ABC starting at 3:30.
This will be fun to watch McCaffrey against Rosen.
I think those are two
That'd be
young
a lot of
offensive
fun.
stars in,
Yes,
in
they
football
are.
right now. McCaffrey, the senior, Josh Rosen, a sophomore. On 1st down, a twisting catch made by Kamen Freeman, and clearly Freeman is going to have to be a big cog in this offensive game plan tonight without Xavier Jones, but Traven Howard shuts him down for no gain.
And he's a 212-pound true freshman that played quarterback. So this is a guy that's he's been thrown into the fire immediately.
And he didn't play running back at all in high school.
At all.
He was a running quarterback, but he did not play running back. So.
No, they said Alabama recruited him, looked at him in camp. He didn't know what to do in running back drills, so it's probably the reason he wasn't recruited by them.
Hicks in a collapsing pocket, and he got knocked down or knocked forward by his own offensive lineman, Nick Nator, and then gets swallowed by Chris Bradley for a loss of 6.
This was a big concern with SMU. Could they hold up with an inexperienced offensive line up front against the 4, and those guys just pushed the pocket back into Hicks's face for the sack. So they're going to have to chip and try to use maximum protection to protect him and keep him clean.
Tied with Clemson for the 2nd longest streak in the country. Draw play, nothing there. Braden West gets blown up in the backfield by Joseph Broadnax. And Josh Caraway on the edge coming off is there for the stop as well.
Yeah, Caraway's a really good pass rusher. You're going to protect your young quarterback who's had too many turnovers on 3rd and long. They run the draw play. Caraway's right there to make the stop.
This is a TCU defense that certainly has some holes, but they are trying to fill those holes going into Big 12 play last week and renewing it next week against Oklahoma. Jamie Sackville. Punt to Desmond White. And Desmond White has space, and he gets knocked down by Sackville, the punter, inside the 45 of SMU. An excellent return of 31 yards. The freshman out of Melbourne, Australia, tried to put it up there, but Des White, a junior out of DeSoto, Texas, with a 31-yard punt return to set up TCU. Pretty Peruna, introduced in 1932. Not this particular Peruna, the Shetland pony that is the mascot for the SMU Mustangs. Absolutely gorgeous. Hanging out on the sidelines tonight. She made some trouble once during a TCU-SMU game. Actually walked out towards midfield and, did the business that horses do once in a while. So that's a memory that a lot of TCU and SMU fans seem to remember. TCU with excellent field position, and Kyle Hicks trying to muscle his way inside. He picks up 3 yards, running into Anthony Roan. The offensive coordinator for TCU, one of them at least, is Doug Meacham in his 3rd year. He and Sonny Cumbie, who's up in the press box, have made a dynamite tandem. Moving quick. How about this? Trick play, and back behind the 50-yard line, Kyron Mitchell meets Kenny Hill.
Coaches told us Kyron Mitchell was a dynamic blitzer. and he was big on tackle for loss. It was a delayed blitz where he stayed out, he watched, he waited to see if anybody was coming out, and then he releases straight to Kenny Hill and gets him for a huge sack. Good play by young Mitchell.
And it's a loss of 15 yards to set up 3rd down and a mile. 5 in the pattern for Hill. He's caught out of the backfield by Hicks, and he's inside the 40, so got a lot of that lost yardage back, but it's shut down by SMU, so it'll be 4th down. But Kenny Hill did not look right when he got up after that big shot he took from Mitchell.
Mitchell hit him twice. He said, "Welcome to Dallas."
Again, a very interesting trick play, almost like a wide receiver flea flicker. They got it out to D'Arce and flipped it back. Rare to see that type of play call.
Great when they work, not so good if not.
Nunez will try to keep this short. Good rotation on this punt, and an excellent job of covering it by TCU as they said, sit Calvin down to down it inside the 5. 37-yard punt. I've ended up with Kenny Hill taking quite the shot from Kyron Mitchell, a very good hybrid safety linebacker, and you can see him on the sidelines kind of grimacing, shaking out, flexing his hand. We'll see if that has any impact on him going forward, as his punter Adam Nunez was able to pin SMU deep inside their own 5-yard line.
And it was a really good hit by Mitchell because it was not too high. He didn't get in the face.
Strike
and a
zone
lot
hit.
of young linebackers will get it too high.
It was a good strike zone hit. And a penalty marker thrown immediately. This is a tough place to be for SMU this deep inside their own territory.
And that penalty won't matter because it's going to be a 2-inch penalty.
Yeah, exactly, for them.
False start. Offense of 71. Half the distance to goal. 1st down.
That's the right tackle, Chauncey Briggs, with his 2nd false start penalty. He's one of the veterans on this offensive line that is banged up right now. Nick Nator is playing left tackle. He's young because Chad Pursley tore his ACL before the season began. And then at left guard, Braylon Hyder was getting to start tonight because Daniel McCarty is out with a lingering knee issue. On 1st down, it is a give to West. Trying to find some space. You're looking for first down at this point, I would imagine.
You are, or you're going to take a deep shot. What the heck? It's like a punt if it's intercepted. If it's complete or you get pass interference, you get off the goal line. So he's either going to use play action or he's probably going to throw something deep. We have to look at the TCU defensive backs and see how much room they give, if there's enough room for a quick out. Normally you take it and take a deep shot because they're all trying to keep you backed up inside the 10.
And they work with 2 high safeties here, perhaps anticipating it. It is West back up the middle, stacked up at the 6. Not much room there. So 3rd down coming up for SMU.
Once again, Adam, you'll probably see a deep shot or quarterback moving.
And this is where you imagine miss Matt Davis a little bit because
Absolutely.
he can move so well. He's such a good running quarterback. Hicks not necessarily that type of QB.
And Ben's going to have to scramble tonight some to make some plays with his feet as well with that quick, big, strong defensive front of TCU.
Well, they're spreading it out, watching the slot to the left because that's where Cortland Sutton is, and he is the safety valve. Right on cue, looking for Sutton, and he overthrew him. They had him a little bit too long for Cortland, and it's 4th down. Well, that is a matchup they're probably going to try to exploit all night.
Yes, it was a blitz from the field. It looked like they were double covering Sutton, but Nico Small's only about a 5'10" guy over a 6'5" guy. When you've got him there, Chad Morris is saying, Ben, you got to hit him. That's a touchdown, man. You got to hit him.
That would have been one heck of a touchdown. They had the opportunity, but instead, a 2nd consecutive 3 and out. No Cavante Turpin available, so it is Des White, who had a very good return last touch. Slipping 1 tackle and spinning his way inside the 35-yard line. Down to the 34 and a twisting 14-yard return and 2 solid bringbacks by Des White to set up excellent field position.
Des White was one of the better quarterbacks in the state of Texas at DeSoto High School. He can make you miss. He's as quick as a puff of smoke. They say he's 5'7". He can walk under a table and not hit his head at him. He is that short, and nobody recruited him at quarterback. And his high school coach is the running back coach, Claude Mathis, over at SMU. So I'm sure he's telling coach, you should have recruited that little guy.
That's right.
He's put him in great field position with 2 punt returns.
A great field position for Kenny Hill and Kyle Hicks, who gets a good seal block from Cole Hunt and stretches it to the edge for solid first down yardage. Run out by Richardson.
Talking to the SMU coaches yesterday, they're really excited about this defense. They've got a lot of depth. Their seniors are playing well.
Right back to Hicks, trying to pound his way forward. Got stacked up with a hard hit, but a flag is thrown from the far side of the field. Boy, Darion Malines with a big hit on Hicks, but we'll check the marker.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That is Avion Collins, redshirt senior, the most experienced player on this team, making his 27th career start tonight.
And if you're Doug Meacham, it's not going well in the passing game. You've had a couple of pressures on your quarterback. You're trying to settle it down and run the ball. And then your big right tackle ends up with a holding penalty. You cannot have turnovers or pre-snap penalties, holding penalties, and stop drives, especially on the road.
90 yards in penalties per game so far for TCU, far too high. Hill in the empty set with a blitz coming. He's got his one-on-one matchup on the outside, but Horace Richardson was right there waiting for Emmanuel Porter. Incomplete, and it's going to bring up third down and long.
Came after him with the blitz. They manned up. What they said they would do at TCU or at SMU this weekend, Van Malone told us, we're going to blitz, but we're going to do it occasionally when we feel like we can. I think you'll see them drop off here in rush 3.
They only have 3 down linemen. They'll bring a little heat. It's a screen to White in space, and Des White grabbed and pushed out of bounds before he could surge towards the line to gain. Jordan Wyatt was there to help shut that play down at the 30 before White could break free to keep the drive alive. So SMU, despite the bad field position, is able to get off the field.
Yes, Jordan's a guy that was playing safety, and they moved him to corner. And as a young sophomore, he plays off the blocker really well and forces White out of bounds. Short of the chains, so a really good stop and forcing the field goal for SMU.
For Van Malone's defense, forcing a Ryan Graff field goal. Walk-on replacing Jaden Oberchrome from 46 yards out. And Ryan Graff on his 4th make of his short TCU career with his longest attempt and longest make to tie this game at 3.
Really good kick. You got to have points on the road, especially in the kicking game. They just matched SMU's point total without moving the ball very well, Adam.
Yep.
TCU is not getting what they want in this game early out of their offense. But they did come away with points.
And TCU does not have a first down yet in this game offensively. For the first 10.5 minutes of this game.
Now you could tell there was a different buzz in that SMU football office yesterday from Chad Morris and Van Malone about their confidence and feeling better. And if you're TCU, you're worried about this game because you've got Oklahoma next week, and this was a short week to prepare. So this is a huge game for both teams, but I'm not sure that TCU is not coming in a little bit distracted looking down the road. It's just natural.
I go back to what Dawn told us at the top of the show. No Turpin, lack of energy the last couple of weeks. And Turpin was the guy who kind of gets everybody going, and that's going to be something to watch for as this night goes on. I know that can be an intangible, but you're going to be able to see it over the course of the night if SMU is still in this game. Good kick by Bunts, another touchback. A big SEC night coming for you on Saturday night. Leonard Fournette, certainly a Heisman candidate at one point, probably still is. He had a big game against Auburn last year. LSU goes on the road at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Then SEC West matchup when Texas A&M and Arkansas meet, what, about 30 minutes down the road at Jerry World from us on ESPN at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Both games available on the Watch ESPN app and the ESPN app as well.
Trevor Knight's played well for A&M, transferring from Oklahoma. Be interesting to see him against the Arkansas defense.
And Austin Allen has played really well. TCU knows all about that the last couple of weeks. Jordan Carmouche, he is a freshman that they're going to lean on tonight at a bruising 240 pounds and a pounding 5-yard run into Traven Howard. That is his 6th career carry. So they've got Freeman, a freshman, Carmouche, a freshman, and West, a sophomore, with Xavier Jones, another sophomore, out.
Very young football team. Chad Morris told us he signed 47 players from Texas the last 2 years. 35 of them are playing right now, Adam.
TCU showing pressure off the edge. Hicks looking downfield, and good coverage by Nico Small that time against Shelby Walker. That'll bring up 3rd down. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Don Davenport, our excellent crew here in University Park, Texas, in the Dallas area. 96th meeting all time between TCU and SMU. The battle for the Iron Skillet tonight with a couple of 2-1 teams. TCU checking in at 26 in the AP polls, just outside the top 25. Hicks rolling, comeback route, and it's nearly intercepted. His receiver, Castile, kept on going, and Tony James nearly picked that ball off. But there was a penalty marker and perhaps a neutral zone infraction against TCU.
Offside. Defense, number 94 in the neutral zone at the snap. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So Caraway goes into the neutral zone that time. So that's the 2nd time that a young quarterback has drawn what is supposed to be an experienced defense offside.
Yeah, very impressive. Good job by Chad Morris getting this young guy to work with snap count. Bob Greasy told me once that the snap count is the most valuable asset for an offense. Obviously, before the snap of the ball, to get the defense off balance anyway.
So it's 3rd and inches here. And how about that? Hicks ran away from the line, and Freeman took the direct step for the 1st down at the 37. I'm expecting a fumble Rooski at some point tonight as well, as a little deception from SMU to keep the drive alive.
I think we'll get all that. But Freeman's a 212-pound freshman. That was a very well-designed play. Little deception there with the quarterback, Hicks walking away, and Freeman getting the 1st down.
And they go right back to the ground on 1st down with Carmouche. And he runs into Ty Summers, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, Ty Summers is leading the Big 12 in tackles. Very impressive. High school quarterback.
How about that? Making the transition to linebackers. Right back to the ground again, and SMU wants to establish this game with Carmouche running into Johnson. 2 more yards there, and it sets up 3rd down and medium.
Johnson's very physical. A very good tackler from Gainesville, Texas. Very good high school program.
He's one of only 8 scholarship seniors that TCU has. So SMU's very young. TCU is as well. Pressure off the edge once again. Hicks rifles over the middle, and it is caught in TCU territory by the top target, Sutton, at the 46. In front of Tony James, took the shot, took the blow, got 12 for the 1st down, and SMU goes tempo. You see the official is on the ball. Now it's a handoff to Braden West. Not much room right there as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, that last play that Sutton made the grab on, he took quite the hit.
No gain on the play.
We were able to visit with him yesterday. He is a big, strong guy, too, in the Adam. At least 6'5", maybe 220. Very impressive looking young man.
He was 5'9" as a freshman in high school, and now he's 6'4", almost 6'5" in motion. 4-man rush and a deep drop for Hicks. He got hit as he threw, and that made the pass go errant. That was James McFarland getting in to the backfield to force the errant throw.
Chad Morris thought they would have to use max protection, or Ben Hicks would have to get the ball out of his hands.
The quarterback was throwing the ball, in the process of throwing the ball when he was hit. There is no foul for intensive grounding.
And almost untouched, Chauncey Briggs did not have a very good go at it going up against McFarland.
Changing the play. It looks like TCU is going to play zone on 3rd and long.
So far, SMU has converted half their 6 attempts on 3rd down. Again, stepping up in that collapsing pocket. Hicks launched it away while he was being spun down. It is an incomplete pass. Thought perhaps he could be tagged with an intentional grounding penalty as well, as he was under duress. But Bradley and McFarland right in the backfield. And a punt coming for SMU.
I think the concerns that Chad Morris had for his offensive line are coming true.
Yep.
They're probably not going to be able to block those guys one-on-one. They're going to have some help either with their tight end or their running back.
So here is that rugby-style punt with some rotation on it to keep it from going to the end zone. Excellent punt by Jamie Sackville, and good coverage downfield by SMU. Kevin Johnson downs the punt, and a long field in front of Kenny Hill, who has taken a couple of hard hits so far tonight, Mac, especially on that flea flicker play. Kind of hurt his hand a little bit.
Yes, when you go on the road, one of the things you want to do is disrupt the quarterback, and Kyron Mitchell got in his face twice and really disrupted him. Hurt his left arm there. You see him showing it to the player, so we'll have to watch him closely as he comes back out.
Let's see if Dawn has anything for us from the sideline.
Yeah, guys, I've been watching him pretty closely. That left hand still clearly bothering him. He keeps looking at it. He's squeezing the fingers tight. He's letting it go. Now, he has not seen trainers about it, and he has not said anything to offensive coordinator Doug Meacham.
And, of course, that is his non-throwing hand. It is his left hand that he's been squeezing out, but obviously that does affect a couple of things that you do need to do at that position. Will fire right-handed over the middle, and it's caught by Taj Williams past the sticks at the 15-yard line. So they get the first down they need. Jordan Wyatt makes the stop after 12.
What a throw. Courageous call by Doug Meacham, too, out of his own end zone for the first down. He's got to do stuff like that to get Kenny Hill's confidence and get him going.
Back to the ground, and Kyle Hicks. And the shifty maneuvering of Kyle Hicks has him racing out to the 34-yard line. 19-yard run for Kyle Hicks there.
Kyle Hicks is quick. People would not realize he's 210 pounds. He's got such a strong lower body. He's patient. What a move, jumping sideways and then lowering his head and moving forward for another first down.
He has only lost 2 yards this season on over 40 carries. 2 yards total lost on over 40 carries this year. Here's Hicks with a good lead block in front of him, and he gets spun down at the 38-yard line.
Adam, we said with Cavante Turpin gone tonight, they're going to give a lot more touches to Kyle Hicks.
That was what Doug Meacham told us last night. He needs to get other guys involved without the explosiveness of Cavante Turpin.
They're lucky to have two offensive coordinators, Sonny Cumbie and Doug Meacham. They get along well. They do a tremendous job with this offense.
Keeping it on the ground. And this is the short run for Johnson, Trevorris Johnson, redshirt junior out of Houston. Picks up 3 yards there, and that might take us to the end of this quarter.
And if you're SMU, you have to feel like it's a win for you. At home, tied, in good shape.
Yeah, I wonder if what people were thinking when they saw TCU SMU. What's TCU like? What's their identity? What's SMU like this year? Are they bouncing back? Well, so far through one in a hot, humid night here in Dallas. Not that TCU isn't used to that. 3rd down and 3, and here is Hicks. Got undercut and lunged forward to the 43-yard line. That is where the line to gain was, but this is going to be very close. Williams was there to undercut him. We'll see where they spot this football. The lead official, Dan Romeo of the Big 12, is going to ask for a timeout and I believe a measurement.
And this is a tough decision for a coach. If you're 4th down and 6 inches, I used to go for it. If you could get a guy like Vince Young, big, strong quarterback, this 230 pounds up underneath, Kyle Hicks jumps sideways. It's just a matter of where they spot the ball.
Yeah, because the line to gain was just past the 43, and I mean just past it. The actual marker is maybe at the 43 and a quarter line. And as you saw, and Romeo said, it is just short. TCU has gone 3 for 3 on 4th down this year.
It's also tougher to make 4th and inches when everybody's in the shotgun at them. Nobody's up under the center anymore, and it makes it more difficult to go far. They could fake it here, but I think TCU thinks they're playing good enough defense. Get the punt down there, back them up, and try to get a short field with your offense.
So the redshirt freshman will kick to James Prochet, a fellow redshirt freshman. Their catch at the 20-yard line. So when we're done here in Dallas tonight, stick around. Sports Center at night. My guys Chris Hassel and the coach will have all the highlights from all the playoff races. Cubs look very sharp as they try to lock down the best record of the National League. College football with a preview of what's going on tomorrow. NFL injury news. So Jacoby Brissett walks in, gets a win, then hurts his thumb and needs surgery. Plus everything else from a busy day and what will be a huge weekend in sports. Hassel and coach, TCU, SMU, and then Sports Center at night on ESPN. What a threat Cortland Sutton has been so far in this game. 49 yards on a couple of catches. But currently on the sidelines as Ben Hicks goes out there without his top target. First down, and to give to Freeman. Short gain to about the 22-yard line. Ben Hicks is a redshirt freshman from Waco, Texas. Matt Davis tore his ACL in the opener against North Texas. And remember last year in what was a relatively close game late between these two teams, Matt Davis threw for 334 passing yards, plus has all that athletic ability to run the ball. So that's a big loss for SMU, and Ben Hicks is in a big, big spot. He'll sling it to the sideline for Prochet. He's got a couple blockers in front, but good job by TCU rallying to the football. They have speed on defense. They want to use it tonight, Coach.
They really do. And with Matt Davis and his ability to run, you have to be very careful with your rush lanes. Ben Hicks doesn't give that threat, so they can turn it loose and use a lot of different stunts up front. Man coverage. They're manning up now with a safety over the top of Cortland Sutton because they know he is the #1 receiver.
It's on the near side of the field. Hicks stepping up, dumps it off underneath for Freeman, and he tries to sprint to the sideline, and Ty Summers is there to shut it down. Shy of the line to gain. Got him at the 27-yard line.
Playing man coverage, wrapped everybody up. Ty Summers has got Freeman man-to-man. Old quarterback trailed the quarterback, 2 quarterbacks from high school, and he stops him short of the first down. Really good stop for the TCU defense.
To force a third 3 and out in 5 drives. So Sackville had good coverage from his unit last time. Kick to White again. And White from the 32-yard line. Gets past that first wave.
Look out.
He's trying to hit the sideline into SMU territory, and he's down by Sackville at the 40-yard line. This guy's touched it 3 times on punt returns, and he's racking up the yards. 29 more right there to set up TCU at the SMU 40-yard line. No Turpin, no problem.
They make highlight reels of themselves dunking their balls into the can. Practice halts for this. They post them on Instagram. Offensive guys, they don't like it so much. Wide receiver Cortland Sutton admitted to me that a few of those dents you might see in that can, yeah, they're from him kicking it a time or two, guys. 9
interceptions this year for Van Malone's defense, and they're trying to get a takeaway here as Isaiah Graham just straight up drops a Kenny Hill delivery. It's going to be tremendously important for SMU with all this great field position that Des White keeps setting up to try to get a takeaway. Otherwise, TCU can march in.
Well, they had 10 interceptions all of last year, already 9 this year. Got to have a pick here.
Back to Hicks, and he turns the corner and gets spun down at the 35-yard line by Malines. Picks up 6 yards there. That'll set up 3rd down and short. TCU trying to get the offense going back.
Yes, we can see Doug Meacham go for 2 downs here. to get in a 4th down and short situation instead of the long field goal.
And they had fewer offensive yards than punt return yards starting this drive. They still do, as a matter of fact. Blitz coming from SMU. Quick throw, and Diarce dropped it at the sticks. He would have had a first down had he snared that one, and instead it brings up 4th down. 2 drops from TCU on this drive.
Well, it's at least the 3rd or 4th drop tonight. These receivers are going to have to start helping Kenny Hill. He's put it on the money, and they're dropping them. So now they're going for 4th down instead of the punt because they're playing good on defense. Not as worried about field position.
SMU brings a corner blitz, so it's thrown to the vacated spot, and Kyle Hicks takes it for a first down. Perfectly read by Kenny Hill. Wyatt came in on that blitz, and that was thrown right to Hicks in the vacated spot.
Boy, what a play by Kenny Hill. He keeps his eyes down the field. He fills the opening for Kyle Hicks on the wheel to the left. Hits him perfectly for the first down.
Mac, that's exactly what you drew up at the top of our show. He can do that so well. Look one way, but he knows what's on the other side. I wonder if Van Malone wants to bring some heat. He keeps showing pressure and backing off. Zone read, give to Hicks, ripped down by his jersey at the 20-yard line after about a 3-yard run. But grabbed by Michael Scott. 2nd down.
We said they would use Kyle Hicks out of the backfield. They're going to hand it to him with Turpin out of the game. Maybe their best player. Hicks is going to get a lot of touches tonight in a lot of different ways.
A fake. Hill recoils and fires, and it's intercepted. Anthony Roan. Trash can turnover right on cue for Roan and SMU. Well, there is a penalty marker thrown on the play. Back near the goal line, a flag was thrown. And John Diarce is in the end zone as well. He is down after that play. There was a lot of contact with Diarce on the back end of that play. Roan picked it off for his 2nd career interception. Junior out of Texarkana. But these officials are talking about a lot, and if they're talking about it this much, I wonder if it's a personal foul of some sort away from the ball.
I would think so, and the question will be, did he catch the ball and turn up? But this is a hit that's very aggressive.
So Roan
ball's intercepted.
Yep, and then there's Malines, who just takes Diarce out over the middle of the play. Could this be a targeting penalty?
After the interception, personal foul, defense, number 29, hit on a defenseless receiver. Will go half the distance from the goal. First down, SMU.
There is no targeting foul on the play. It was post-interception, so it's still SMU ball. And it will be a penalty against Malines that forces half the distance. But a takeaway for SMU.
Previous play.
This is what they needed.
Well, I do think that the SMU defense heard Dawn talking about the trash can, so they said, fill it up, so they get the interception. Gives them a chance to move it forward on offense.
Perhaps a targeting.
After review, the hit by number 29 on a defenseless receiver has been deemed to be targeting. Number 29, by rule, will be disqualified from the game.
This is a new rule in college football this year. If there is an egregious miss, shockingly bad miss of what is deemed to be a targeting foul, the replay booth, this is an American Conference replay booth too, they're the ones who can create the targeting penalty, and this fills both axioms. It's forcible contact above the shoulders of a defenseless player, John Diarce, and it's leading with the crown of the helmet. That is a very good job of enacting the new rule in college football by this American Conference crew, and maligns maybe SMU's most physical defensive players out for this game and the first half of next week's game against Temple.
Yes, it's 100% targeting, and he should be kicked out of the game. Not that he meant to do it, but it's a physical play. We had a saying, Adam, big eye in the sky don't lie. So it's one of the great things about instant replay. They missed it on the field. It was targeting. It was an important play in this ball game. Take it upstairs and get it right.
I mean, two axioms were filled very easily by Malign's physical play there, and it is a targeting penalty, rightfully called. And Ben Hicks will try to muscle his way away from his own goal line on the first down run. So he picks up a couple. The reason the ball is spotted at the 1 is because Roan was pretty much at the 2-yard line when he made the interception, and that's when the penalty for targeting was thrown in there. The personal foul was called after John Diarse took that brutal hit in the end zone. So it's half the distance. Now on second down, right back to the ground in Braden West. And he gets close to the sticks, and Tony James saved it from being a first down. A chance to extend this drive for SMU.
Come up 3rd and 1. They're lining up very quickly to try to get a quick snap and get the first down.
Again, trying to surge forward West. This is going to be very close. Depends on the spot here. I believe the officials want another measurement here. They'll give him a first down. No measurement needed. Took a second look at it, and that'll move the chain. So how about SMU? Gets the pick, something that they've done so well this season, and now they have a fresh set of downs at their own 10-yard line.
Already got their 10th pick this year. Matches their total of picks last year.
Now, can they cash in? That's something they have not done much of this year. West again. Surge to about the 14. Picks up about 3 or 4. Running into Aaron Curry.
I think you can see Chad Morris is being conservative with his young quarterback, trying to get him some field position before he turns him loose and lets him throw it. It's really hurt this offense that you're not getting quarterback running yards that you got with Matt Davis. I think Ben's a better passer. Matt was obviously a better runner.
They've run it all 4 times on what has been a conservative start to this drive so far. Now 2nd and 7. First pass of the drive. Hicks over the middle and a hand catch by Freeman. Stretches it out to the 39-yard line. 24-yard pass play.
Out of the backfield, it was man-to-man coverage. Young Freeman was locked up with what we felt like was the player of the game.
Traven Howard. Here is Freeman. About 3 yards to the 41-yard line, running into Ty Summers.
Freeman's been very impressive. He's got very good hands. He's strong. He's powerful. 212 pounds. He is not playing like a freshman.
They need him. Again, no Xavier Jones tonight. West and Freeman and Carmouche, all underclassmen, are getting the brunt of the work tonight on the ground. They fake the jet sweep, and Hicks is going to take a deep shot downfield, and a flag is thrown. Deontay Gray covering Cortland Sutton, and Gray playing on defense for just the 2nd time in the last 3 years. And there's an injured offensive lineman down for SMU as well, their left tackle, so there is a lot to sort out on this play.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Deontay Gray came to TCU as a wide receiver and defensive back, but hadn't played defense since 2013 until last week when he started at corner. He's guarding the toughest guy to guard for SMU.
Well, and he's 5'10", and you're putting a 6'4", 6'5" guy deep on him one-on-one. It's one of the reasons that Gary Patterson was really concerned about playing man coverage in this ball game, with them putting the tall Sutton on these smaller corners. And Gray banged his knee up a little bit last week as well.
Yeah, and he is starting this week. And now the SMU training staff has to tend to Nick Nature, their left tackle, another position that they absolutely cannot afford a loss right now. So we'll step aside with 8 minutes to play in the half.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Live flake-free for life. And Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
8 athletes and 1 coach to the Rio Olympics for SMU. Silver medal for Rachel Nickel from Canada in the 4x100 medley relay and swimming. And Jackie Galloway won a bronze in Taekwondo. Great stuff over the course of this summer for SMU. Their football team is off to a good start, 2-1 for the first time in 5 years. And tonight, knotted up at 3 apiece with a team they haven't beat in 5 years in TCU. Bryce Wilds is playing right tackle. And Chauncey Briggs is playing left tackle with Nator out. Hicks, deep shot, end zone, and overthrown. Looking for James Prochet on first down, taking a shot. And it'll be second down. Boy, what a loss right now up front with Nick Nator, who has to step off the field. So your offensive line just got that much younger. And Wilds is playing right tackle. He's playing in his 4th career game.
And they were really concerned about depth coming into the game. So they're playing with a lot of young players that have not played together very much against a good front.
Yep. Moving Castile into the backfield and throwing to him. And Castile gets wrapped up by Howard and driven back. The forward progress takes him to the 41-yard line.
Traven Howard's all over the field now.
Yeah,
we talked about him as an impact player, as a safety, as a linebacker. He's being very physical. They're matching him up in man coverage. He's doing a great job out there.
And he's just getting back to full speed. He had emergency appendectomy surgery and he lost about 10 pounds. That was during camp. So he missed about 3 weeks and is just now getting back to 100%. Free play, Hicks. He'll take the shot, and that is incomplete. And that is the 3rd time that he has drawn the TCU defense into the neutral zone.
And you see Coach Patterson substituting.
Offside.
He's bringing some
Defense,
over.
number 91, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You've got to be careful because you don't want to make your guys hesitant to rush the passer. So I remember Bobby Bowden saying one time, don't ever tell one that you want him to be more cautious at the line of scrimmage. And that makes sense, but still, they took a 3rd down and 8 and turned it into a 3rd down and 3 because young Ben Hicks did a good job of the snap count once again. 3rd time they pulled them off.
Yeah, 4 penalties on defense against TCU on 5 accepted ones. Hicks play fake into a tight window and nearly intercepted. They were looking for Walker and a diving play by one of those rare seniors, Denzel Johnson.
Denzel Johnson is a guy that's played so well for them. He had a shoulder injury, high school quarterback again. Gary takes a lot of guys out of position and moves
turns them into something else.
Turns them into something else. But usually your quarterback's your smartest leader and best athlete on your team. Great play by Denzel.
Well, they've got Des White back to return a punt. 4th and 3 at the plus 36. Surprised that they're punting here?
No, I'm really not, because they're playing well on defense.
Okay. Trying to pin it inside the 5, and that'll be a net punt of 16 yards. 7:07 to play. TCU's got the ball when you come back.
Sometimes you can talk yourself into ghosts that aren't really there. So you have to be careful.
Getty Hill and the Horned Frogs back to work, and Kyle Hicks with the tunnel screen, backpedaling his way for 4 yards, and a flag is thrown from the near side of the field.
Holding, offense, number 69, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Fabian Collins
Correct, 1st down.
with the penalty. Redshirt senior, again, the most experienced player for TCU. Puts him back to the 10-yard line, and it's 1st and 20.
It's a screen. The big guy was out there in space, and we know he's fast. His dad's in the Hall of Fame at TCU for track and winning some Southwest Conference track meets. So he was obviously a great athlete.
100 meters and 74 and 75. Well, 1st down and 20. Blitz coming from SMU. That gets picked up, allowing Hill to find Diarce. 1st down on 1st and 20. He picks up 24 yards and has some things to say after the play.
field ball at the 33-yard
Going
line.
away with Horace Richardson after the big gainer. Four-man rush. Hill underneath for White. And a good job in space to bring him down by Kyron Mitchell.
Pass complete. Good
Down at the 39.
Very good protection. Excellent throw by Kenny Hill. It looks like TCU's decided to spread them out now. They've been trying to pound them. They're trying to spread them out and get their really speed athletes one-on-one in space. Still got one back, 4 wideouts.
Screen pass to the left side. And a sprinting play by Dylan Thomas. And he's got the first down into SMU territory. 13 yards on the play. Look at the turf here, Mac. TCU made a big deal about being able to play on turf because of their speed. Why?
When you go from grass to turf, you feel faster because turf is so fast. And TCU's got speed guys.
Including Hicks. And he gets swung down by Williams and thrust forward to the 41-yard line. Would pick up there a 7.
They felt like that would be a great advantage for them in this stadium where they've come in here and played well before.
Remember the Peach Bowl a couple of years ago on turf? They crushed Ole Miss, and Gary Patterson felt like the speed of his team had a big factor in that game.
I always told our guys the other team's got the same turf you've got. So
Yeah, what excuse do you have?
yeah, if you're fast, you're fast. I do know going from turf to grass is tough. You feel slower.
They're setting up a screen, but they also have one-on-one with Taj Williams against Jordan Wyatt. Trying to hold him off, and he lost the football, but out of bounds near the 17-yard line.
What a series by Kenny Hill.
Oof,
This is the guy we thought we'd see. He's a guy standing back in the pocket, looking downfield, and he is pinpointing those passes. First to Diarse on the square end, a couple of screens, and then hits Taj. Taj Williams, #1 junior college player in the country last year, wide receiver for a big play.
Another target for Hill. 5 for 5 for 74 on this drive. Fumbled the snap. It's picked up by Hicks, and he still turns it into a positive play as he works into the 12, running into Deion Green.
If you're not careful, you start looking downfield, and you take your eye off of the ball, off the snap, you drop it. Now, the quarterback's supposed to follow in immediately at him, but Kyle Hicks picked it up, and he still made 5 yards. That's why I wanted Kyle Hicks. He committed to Texas and backed out on us and came to TCU.
I didn't want to bring it up right away, Mac.
But at least I was right. He's really good.
Option play, pitch to Hicks. Gets a block, gets the first down. 1st and goal, TCU. Excellent blocking on the perimeter as well. Cole Hunt out there helping out.
Really good block coming underneath by Cole Hunt. He's Joey's brother. He transferred in from Rice.
Charge timeout.
On the corner.
SMU.
So SMU and Van Malone's defense will take a break inside of 4 to play, first half. Goal from inside the 5. Here is Hill trying to get to the edge and brought down at the ankles by Kevin Johnson. Without Darion Malines, done with a targeting penalty, Johnson has to step in.
Very impressive play by the SMU defense. It's really good to watch them tackle in space. He takes on the big back. He uses his outside shoulder. He keeps it free, and he will not allow Kenny Hill to get outside of him, and he turns him back up inside for all the pursuit.
From the 8-yard line, here is Hicks. Shuffling his way and stuttering inside the 5, back to the 3-yard line. 3rd down and goal. 4-down territory if TCU doesn't get it here, Coach. What do you think?
Absolutely, and SMU has got to try to force some penetration and get a loss on this play and force the field goal. Adam, if you make yards here, you get a 4th and short, you go for it.
TCU's 0 for 5 on 3rd down tonight. 3rd and goal.
Could be quarterback draw out of this look or fade.
SMU rushing 5, Fade pass to the corner of the end zone for Cole Hunt. And it is incomplete, out of bounds. Excellent coverage by another freshman, Mikhail Onu.
Now you 100% kick the field goal. Very good man coverage. Ball was thrown up high where you need it to in the end zone. Cole Hunt, transfer from Rice. Ball was just thrown a little bit too far and he lost where he was on the field.
Van Malone's defense comes up clutch and forces a 20-yard try for Ryan Graff. He's made a 46-yarder. And from close range, he'll put TCU in front for the first time tonight.
That's really a win for SMU because it's an 80-yard drive. And if you're Gary Patterson, you're upset on that first down call where you lose yards instead of probably giving it to Hicks and getting it more down toward the goal line on first down. But also great win for Van Malone. He gave up too many yards getting there, but held them to 3. The inability of SMU right now to move the ball, other than the deep throws to Cortland Sutton, have been something that is keeping them from getting ahead in this ballgame. They've played it well enough on defense. They've forced a turnover. They're doing the things they need to do, but they're going to have to make some plays, some explosive plays on offense.
Well, remember, this is an SMU defense that held Baylor to just 2 field goals in one half a couple of weeks ago before Baylor took advantage of some SMU mistakes and eventually got a what would be to the naked eye a large win, a kind of a blowout win. But SMU has looked like a different team in the last 12 months, really since Chad Morris took over. And they have some promise. Even though they're picked 5th in their division in the American Conference, there's a lot more hope on the hilltop this year than there was last.
Got a very good crowd tonight, too. There's a lot of people excited about SMU football. We had them twice last year, not even the same football team tonight.
Returnable kick for Kevin Johnson. And Johnson, with a big hole up the middle, will take it across the 25-yard line. Let's check in with Martin Scorsese biographer Adnan Virk. Wow. I was really excited to make one Scorsese reference. He dropped 2 in a sentence. That was impressive, my friend. We'll see you at halftime. Ben Hicks and SMU starting this drive from the 26, and Braden West gets brought down for a loss by Ty Summers. You know what's interesting to me, Coach? The Big 12 so far, 3-10 against Power 5 teams and the American Conference. Obviously, the win for Houston over Oklahoma. They're 4-10 if you add the Texas win over Notre Dame, but that's a little surprising considering some of the competition.
It's a very disappointing start, and I know for them too. I've talked to a lot of their coaches, and they felt like they were going to have a much better start than this. This TCU defense has been smothering. They're very impressive tonight as well. We can't just talk about SMU's defense.
Here is West, and the pile pushed by Howard. You said it. He's been all over the field tonight, and he leads the charge for a minimal gain.
It's so impressive that he missed preseason. Missed 3 of the 4 weeks with the appendicitis. But the guy can play safety. He can play linebacker. In this situation, he plays linebacker. He reads it. He watches his eyes. He scrapes right off the nose guard's tail and makes the play for very little gain.
So SMU is churning away a lot of clock, and TCU, I'm surprised they're not using a timeout here. They could stop the clock, get the ball back with decent field position if they can get a stop here.
Some coaches like to keep them in their pocket on offense. Some like to call them early. I always wanted them on offense.
You wanted on offense?
I did. I felt like it was important to have them on the last drive.
Well, it's West spinning off a tackle, spinning through a hole, and nearly getting to the line to gain, but a yard short as Nico Small made the stop. And now will TCU use a timeout here? It looks like Gary Patterson will.
Absolutely. Stop them here. Save your time on the clock. Try to keep some in your pocket for your last drive.
So you'll have a
First
couple of
charge
timeouts.
timeout. TCU.
They'll have a couple of timeouts and 46 seconds on the clock. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
30-second timeout.
7-16.
So Chad Morris, knowing that his team has short fourth down coming up, is still going to punt it away because they're at the minus 35-yard line. Gary Patterson will have a couple of timeouts, and Des White all night long has set up excellent field position.
I would punt that thing out of bounds too. At least they're punting it away from him.
That's
exactly
the best
what
decision you could possibly make after what he's done tonight.
Don't let that little guy touch it.
Well, we've seen 3 field goals in this first half so far tonight, and celebrating its 12th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. You got 39 seconds, 2 timeouts, ball's inside the 20-yard line. Where's your head in terms of play sequencing right now?
Your head is if you can get it out to the 40, 45-yard line, then you try to get the score. So you're going to be aggressive. But this will probably be a screen, probably not a quarterback draw because it eats up too much time. But you're either going to have a screen or a fake screen throw deep to try to see if you can get 10 or 15 yards and get you started. You don't want to turn one over right before the half.
1 interception already for Kenny Hill here in the first half. What has been a tight game. Played well on defense on both sides. Here is Hicks trying to get to the edge, and he will get ripped down. Was he inbounds? Yes. Kevin Johnson made the tackle at the 31, but Gary Patterson is forced to use his second timeout.
Yes, if you're Kyle Hicks, you're an older player, you're experienced, get out of bounds.
I think you saw a little daylight, maybe got a little greedy there.
He did, but get out of bounds. It's a good call. It's a safe call. Let's see if we can squirt one.
TCU, 30-second timeout.
Gets to the outside right there. Get to that boundary. Get to the boundary and save your timeout. Then you've got the ball moved up to the 30-yard line with 2 timeouts in your pocket. Really good coaches keep all their timeouts in their pocket. They're not going to waste one. They're not going to let coordinators get excited and waste one. Gary Patterson knows what he's doing, and he keeps these timeouts just for this situation.
Gary Patterson, one of really the great minds in college football, played at Kansas State, took over as the head coach of this program as an interim in 2000 for the bowl game against Southern Miss, and then his first year was the first year for TCU in Conference USA, transitioned them into the Mountain West Conference. And his team has 1st and 10 from the 31. Bullets one, and it's caught. Des White across the 45-yard line, picks up 16 yards there. And with 21 seconds, will Gary Patterson use one more here? Yeah, he has to use his final timeout, and that's where that play
Third final charge timeout, TCU.
So what you're going to have to do now is you're going to have to throw the ball deep and try to get it out of bounds or get your first down and spike it.
This will be a full 1-minute timeout.
He's taking some hits. There's been a good pass rush by SMU throughout the night. They're substituting a lot up front. They said they had 14 guys that they rotate, so they're more fresh up front than you would think. But Kenny Hill has not been nervous in the pocket. I've been really impressed with him. He's standing tall, and with all the licks he's taken tonight, he looks like he's playing much better now than he did to start the game.
49 pass attempts week 1. 56 in that double overtime game against Arkansas, and then 30 more against Iowa State last week. So far in this game, 18.
We recruited Kenny out of South Lake Carroll. He was one of the better quarterbacks in the country, dual threat, because he can run and throw. His dad was second for the Cy Young Award at one time, Ken. Very impressive family. The coaches at TCU said this young man is transferred in after leaving A&M with a tough start, going to junior college. He's done everything right on and off the field, become a really good leader, got confidence of the team, and they really believe in him. And in situations like this, that's so important that the coaches and the players believe that Kenny can get points out of this drive.
1st and 10 from the 46. 4-man rush. Hill stepping up and taking off in the middle of the field. No more timeouts for TCU, and that ball will be down at the 45. Clock churning inside of 10 seconds. They can spike it here on 2nd down. And indeed, Kenny Hill will, with 5 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, if you're going to run it, you've got to make the first down. When Kenny didn't, he jumped up quickly. He spiked the ball. Now you throw it to the end zone.
So you've got some targets out there. Emmanuel Porter is 6'4". Taj Williams is 6'4". We've got Jalen Austin on the bench as well. They could potentially use at 6'2". Let's see who they throw out there. And will SMU use one of their 2 remaining timeouts? Yes.
And that is to go
Second
over
charge
your
timeout. SMU. 30-second time.
For TCU at the end of this first half from the 45-yard line.
So you've got a choice. Go one-on-one to his left or go with the 3 to his right. He's going to go with the 3. Get open. Don't try to run it. Can't make it. Throw it in the end zone.
To the end zone. Incomplete. They were looking for Porter, and it was deflected away. We've seen it so often. The Hail Mary at the end of the half did not go down that time. Our Lexus halftime report. Adnan, Joey, Danny, my favorite good fellas are in the studio. Boys, it's all yours.
But they got a field goal. They start the second half with the ball. They've got to come back, stop the penalties, stop the turnovers, stop the drops, and get back to being the offense that they've been in the first 3 weeks.
So SMU will kick to start half number 2. 96th battle for the Iron Skillet. Skillet's only been given out, though, since the 40s. That being said, 96 meeting all time between these two. So off we go in half number 2. And Isaiah Graham will take a knee. And moments ago, Dawn Davenport visited with Chad Morris of SMU.
Well, guys, enjoy the moment, one play at a time. We have to move the football. Head coach Chad Morris used quite a few cliches when he was talking about what he needed to see out of his team in the second half. But you know what? That's something his team is used to. They've talked about this a bunch, that they get cliche after cliche from their head coach, but they said they really buy into those cliches. I will say, guys, he did seem very pleased with what his defense has been able to do.
Here tonight. I mean, if you look down at the crowd, there's a lot of SMU red and blue. Oftentimes when you see this game here, there's a lot more TCU purple. Kenny Hill on first down. Diarse snares it and breaks a tackle. And John Diarse on the first play of the second half will take it to the house. 75 yards. TCU touchdown. His first touchdown as a Horned Frog this season.
That's the way to take the ball the second half and get it started, Adam. You could see that at the end of the third or end of the second quarter, right before halftime. They had their rhythm. They were doing well till they got stopped, but they came back with a bang. Fantastic throw and catch from Kenny Hill to Diarse.
Well, you said it. Diarse was one of the guys that dropped one of those balls in the first half for Kenny Hill. He connected and did the rest of the work on his own.
Got the ball out of his hands quickly after the fake to Kyle Hicks. Missed tackle in the secondary by Kevin Johnson. Young safety. Diarse takes it the length of the field for the touchdown. That's what the SMU defense could not afford. Don't give up the big play. Keep them in front of you. And TCU broke out. Now that's the kind of plays they've had to be such an outstanding defense the last couple of years. Or offense, excuse me, the last couple of years.
Well, we said it. The targeting penalty on Darion Malign, starting safety, so he is done for the rest of this game. He'll return against Temple next week, but Kevin Johnson has to slide into a safety spot, a younger guy, a redshirt freshman, and all of a sudden somebody breaks free for TCU's offense.
Well, and good job by Doug Meacham and Sonny Cumbie of attacking the young safety on the first play of the second half. That's what you call adjustments at halftime. That's what coaches get paid for.
The Bunts will kick away. An explosive second half start for TCU. And Kevin Johnson will run into his own man and get pulled down at the 16-yard line.
Adam, the tough decision now for Chad Morris is he's protected Ben Hicks right before the half. You could see he was very conservative with 3 runs. Didn't want him to be in a position where he gets the sack or the fumble or the turnover. So now you're going to have to open it up a little bit more if TCU is going to start moving the ball and scoring points. Big drive for Ben Hicks.
94 yards passing so far. Remember that SMU scored a field goal on its opening drive of the night, and then 6 straight punts to end drives. Now they're down by 2 scores, and Hicks will empty it out on first down.
Man coverage.
He's protected. He finds Cortland Sutton. This is the top target for SMU, and he works his way out across the 45-yard line, bowling over Nick Orr to the 46 on a 30-yard play.
Cortland Sutton is as good as anybody in the country. He's big, he's fast, really good protection this time. They just brought 4.
And SMU trying to hurry up the tempo. Running into Summers at the 48. 2-yard pickup there. Again, no Xavier Jones tonight for the 3rd consecutive game, so West is out there as the lead back with a couple of freshmen behind him. Hicks is a redshirt freshman with Matt Davis out since the opener of this season. And that's Sutton in motion. He is the safety valve. Hicks, deep shot, downfield, incomplete. Looking for Xavier Castile, and the lunging sophomore couldn't corral it. It's 3rd down.
Had good protection. You can see Ben still being positive. The ball is one-on-one coverage. He just leads him a little bit too far, and you can see the frustration with Coach Morris because Ben's just missed a couple of deep balls just by enough that still keeps you from moving the ball. Now, we said Ben's got to keep good body language, got to be positive. Got to come back and make this next play.
That has been an issue for him at times. His body language gets a little too low after bad plays. Hicks steps up, and he's got plenty of space for the first down. Ben Hicks slides down inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. That is the longest run of his short career of 15 yards. He got hit late by Nico Small, and he's slow to get up.
That's what happens when you're back there by yourself. Everybody's in the rush lane. You are not worried about Ben Hicks running the ball. It's not Matt Davis, and that is the longest of his career because everybody was dropping off into coverage and turned him loose.
And Nico Small is outweighed by Hicks by about 35 pounds. Small is the free safety, but he only weighs about 180 pounds, and he took the worst of that going into the big body of Ben Hicks.
And he's a first-year starter, so that means somebody behind him is a lot less experienced.
That's right. The secondary, according to Pro Football Focus, was supposed to be the strength of this team. The guys that were returning graded out as high as anybody on this TCU team. And so far, it hasn't been the strength for this offense, or for this defense, excuse me, that Gary Patterson hoped for.
Well, and TCU lost Julius Lewis early to an Achilles, and they thought he was one of the better players around. So that obviously hurt them. They've got some inexperienced guys playing.
Can SMU cash in?
Yeah, this is a good drive. This is what had to happen. They had to answer, and Ben had to open up and hit some plays, and he made a run.
From the 37-yard line, it is Kamen Freeman, grabbed at the ankles by Howard. Took it to the 35 for 2.
One of the things you love about coaching, does TCU blitz now since they've got a little momentum? Do they try to get an extra blocker up front because it puts the offensive line that's inexperienced one-on-one? This is where coaches get paid. Got to make the decisions.
And a decision here on 2nd down to go back to that Wildcat look with Freeman. He never played running back in high school. He was a quarterback, a dual threat guy. He's playing running back here at SMU.
Jeremiah Haynes in motion at tight end.
And he's going to help block for Freeman, who patiently looks for that hole and picks one to the 29-yard line. Good run. It sets up 3rd down and short.
They just brought Jeremiah Gaines across as a fullback. That's all he is. He's a tight end that's a very good football player. He was split out. They used him in motion. He's the lead blocker. And Big Freeman becomes the quarterback tailback. And now they've got Ben Hicks back in the ball game, trying to figure out a way to get some points as they get near the red zone.
Well, look to the bottom of the formation. Tony James, a converted wideout, guarding Cortland Sutton on 3rd down and short. Hicks on the out route, bobbled and dropped by Mitchell Kaufman. And the sophomore from right here in Highland Park, playing in front of his family and friends, could not corral that one, and it's 4th down and 2. And the kick unit will come on.
Boy, what a great play by James McFarland. He feels it. He sees Ben Hicks's eyes. He turns and runs up underneath it. He's so mad that he didn't get the interception, which would have been for a touchdown. Very good play by James McFarland. Just needed to finish it.
So Josh Williams with his longest attempt as an SMU Mustang. This is from 46 from between the hashes. Laces out. Good rotation and distance, but it's no good. Looked like he had the right motion on that kick. Plenty of leg on it. But SMU unable to come away with points. And TCU
then came back and played base, and they were able to stop SMU with just their base defense. I think we'll see more base defense and a few blitzes just in opportunities the rest of the game.
Kenny Hill takes over from the 29-yard line. Off play action. Pressure coming. Hill looking. Penalty marker thrown. Hill keeps the play alive and switches fields. Likely this will come back, but an impressive Kenny Hill run out to the 42-yard line. Check the flag all the way back near the 20.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Avion Collins again. He's had an issue so far tonight at right tackle.
And here's a guy that's a senior. He can't afford to be holding. He's obviously holding. Once again, Adam, when they grab those shoulder pads and they turn and the defender's trying to get away and he's not letting him go. Let him go, Avion, just let him go.
Third holding penalty against, as we said, the most experienced lineman and most experienced player for TCU.
Positive was, what a play by Kenny Hill.
Yeah. I mean, that athleticism, I think people forgot a little bit about when he was out of FBS football for a little while. He'll fire, and it's caught by White, so they get the penalty yardage back and a little more. Shoved out by Jordan Wyatt at the 30.
Thought the last drive of the half by Kenny Hill was so good. He gets a touchdown pass the first play of the third quarter, and now he comes out with an 8-man drop. Completes the ball.
Over the middle, and it's the same play except from the other side to John Diarse. The slant got him for the touchdown of the last drive. This time it picks up the first down across the 40.
And they are going fast.
Kenny Hill screen to White. Low throw. A dangerous pass. And somehow White was able to corral it, but it ends up being a loss.
They know it's hot. They've got SMU on their heels. SMU still a really young defense, even though they do have more depth than last year. But that's why we're seeing TCU really trying to put the pedal to the metal right now and get some more points quickly.
A touchdown makes it a 3-score. Another play action pass. They set up the screen. Another low throw, but it's scooped off the deck by Hicks. He bicycles his way near midfield to set up third down and short. Badajoe forced him out of bounds.
A lot of times young quarterbacks don't set their feet. So he's moving to the right and he throws it off balance back to the left. You've got time, Kenny. Set those feet and turn and throw the ball and put it chest high so Kyle Hicks can make the easy run for a first down. Important third down play. Looks like SMU may come after him. Showing blitz and backed out.
And on the out route, a good play by Graham. Corralled it and backpedaled out of bounds with possession at the 46-yard line.
When Kenny Hill sets his feet, turns, he is so accurate.
Another pass play and penalty markers come flying in from both sides of the field.
False start. Offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Byproduct of a little bit of tempo for TCU, which just got its first third down conversion of this game.
Well, it's hot. Those big offensive linemen get tired too, and they might not quite get set on time. Still, it's working for TCU. They've changed it, adjustments at halftime to go fast. 4 wideouts.
SMU giving those receivers some cushion. 5-man rush. And Hill under pressure. That ball got flung forward. It is an incomplete pass. R.C. Cox came from the backside and put the pressure on Kenny Hill and ends up dropping incomplete.
And that credit has to go to the SMU secondary because there was no one open. He had to hold the ball too long. A lot of times people cuss the offensive lineman for not protecting long enough. He had enough time to get that ball off, just nobody open.
On second down, it's a read play, and it was the wrong one. A give to Hicks, and Zelt Minor, the senior from Houston, with the tackle for loss.
He's had good penetration the last 2 plays, and Zelt's a guy that Coach Morris sat down and said, "You've been here 5 years and you haven't done anything yet, son. So let's get the scholarship paid for." And he said this young man's turned his life around. He's playing great, giving him tremendous effort. 2 outstanding plays for SMU's defense. Now it's 3rd and real long.
Yep, 3rd and 19. Four-man rush against Hill. And it is caught by Williams. Shy of the sticks. Good rally to the football by Wyatt and the Mustangs. And it'll be short of the line to gain. There is a flag thrown on the play. And Wyatt is slow to get up afterwards.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 32, 15-yard penalty, first down.
R.C. Cox, who just had that tremendous play against Kenny Hill a couple of plays ago, gets tagged with a personal foul penalty that will keep TCU on the field after they were unable to convert on that 3rd down, and Wyatt is a concern for the SMU training staff.
What a killer penalty for SMU and Cox, because they were going to force Gary Patterson to make a decision on 4th and 5. Do you punt him down deep or you try to go for it? I think he would have gone for it.
Wyatt, the redshirt sophomore, being tended to, as we said. Great start to his season. And R.C. Cox got tagged with the face mask penalty. You said kind of reaching in there, just getting a hold of the face mask. It was close on Taj Williams, but Cox was in there. And then at the end of the play, Wyatt is getting tangled up with the rest of them and getting landed on. I mean, they've already lost Malines for the rest of this game. They're going to have to wait till next week to get him back because of a targeting penalty in the first half. And now Wyatt, who already has 3 interceptions this season and is the 3rd leading tackler on the team. Not necessarily a good thing as a defensive back, but that being said, a tremendous contributor to SMU's defense.
Yeah, Jordan White's brought them a lot of confidence in that secondary, and they're playing so well, so they don't need to lose him. I do think that the penalty was so close. I'm not sure I would have thrown that flag if I'm an official.
Now you saw the left hand kind of under maybe the top part of the opening on the helmet.
Yeah, to me a face mask is you grab it and you pull it. It changes that head. It's really, really close.
I mean, it was tremendously close, but it did look like he got a piece of the cage. So first down into traffic, John Diarse. Another first down, and the LSU transfer is doing some big things here in the 3rd quarter. Moves the chains after an 11-yard catch.
Those coaches had really good conversation with those receivers at halftime, I think, Adam. They've come back out with a different attitude.
That's exactly what you pointed out. Too many drops. Kenny Hill was getting banged around. He's been protected, and he's been on target here in quarter 3.
I'm impressed with Kenny Hill.
Here is Hicks. And he gets spun down inside the 5 by Rodney Clemens, the redshirt freshman. Impressive run all the way down inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal. Be ready to go right on top of the football.
Spread them out, spread them out, spread them out, hammer them up the middle. changing the play.
The slide Hicks over maybe for some protection here.
Could be a fade.
Play clock inside of 5. Looking in the corner for the fade. Instead, bullets to the goal line, and it's incomplete. Looking for Andre Pettis-Wilson.
That's an opportunity for a quarterback to take that play anytime he wants it. Really and truly, when you're inside the 5 and it's first down and goal, you'd like to hammer and run the ball a little bit more. So I'm sure the coaches probably wish. When you're not playing with a tight end on goal line, it also makes it tougher. But TCU got stopped down here right before the half. They need to get 7 points in this situation. Tight end in the backfield.
And a fade route to the corner for Jalen Austin. And he came down with it for a touchdown.
Touchdown, TCU. Jalen Austin in the catch.
And TCU is on the verge of going up 3 scores on the road.
You got a lot of confidence in your quarterback. First and goal from the 3. You throw a quick out and a fade. When you're throwing the fade ball, you throw it up high. Get it above his eyes, above his head, and he catches it at the point for a touchdown.
Really one of those balls where only the receiver could possibly get it.
Once again, Jalen's 6'2", 200 pounds. TCU's got tall receivers.
And a wobbly extra point attempt gets through somehow to make it a 3-score game. The face mask kept the drive alive. Kyle Hicks was a key cog with his impressive run to set him up first and goal. And Jalen Austin, the sophomore out of Grand Prairie, Texas, his 2nd touchdown of the year, and TCU starting to roll in the 3rd. Offense trailing 20-3. Dawn Davenport on the sidelines. They're missing some key cogs right now.
Yeah, they are. That offensive line injury starting to pile up here for SMU. Nick Nator came out at the left tackle, came out in the 3rd quarter, tried to run a little bit, injured that left ankle and foot in the first half. He couldn't do it, just couldn't tape it up tight enough to go, so he headed back to the locker room.
Boy, in the back end of the secondary, now on the offensive line, injuries racking up for the SMU Mustangs, who are now down by 3 scores in this game, 20-3. Once with the kickoff, and a run up for Johnson from the 8-yard line, and he is going to get stopped down at the 20-yard line is where SMU will start up, and we'll have a couple of great games on ABC. Penn State goes on the road at Michigan. Let's talk about Christian McCaffrey as Stanford goes and visits UCLA. 62% of the touches go to McCaffrey, 60% of the yards from scrimmage go to Christian.
Yeah, the guy's been unbelievable. Anybody who saw the Rose Bowl last year would think he should be a huge factor in the Heisman Trophy race. So I can't wait to see this game with he and Rosen, the quarterback from UCLA, on Saturday night. Should be fun to watch.
You know, Josh Rosen's played very well against big-time opponents. What, 5-1 against last. So on first down, Ben Hicks over the middle, and he's got James Prochet for a first down. Let's see if they unleash Ben Hicks a little bit. They might have to get back in this game.
Yeah, Coach Morris got a tough decision now. He's going to go quick. He's down by 17, and he's got to turn his redshirt freshman quarterback loose. And you've got to be able to protect against that really good front 4 from TCU.
It hasn't felt like TCU has needed to blitz much tonight. They haven't had to send more than 4.
No, when you can get pressure with 4, sometimes maybe 5, why play man and give a chance for Sutton to get deep on your shorter corners.
5 in the pattern, a 4-man rush, an underneath throw, Prochet with the catch, and a great job by Ty Summers and Tony James. They were right there to close it out after a 3-yard gain.
TCU's playing really good defense tonight. Coach Patterson was really concerned about missed tackles in space. We haven't seen many people on TCU's defense missing a tackle tonight. Second down and 7.
They've got Sutton in motion to the trip side. 4-man rush again. Freeman is the release, and in space it is Summers. leading tackler in the Big 12, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week last week, and a dual threat quarterback out of high school shuts it down to force third down.
Yeah, missed spring practice with a shoulder injury, but he's a guy that the coaches at TCU really like. This is a huge third down because you can't give it back to TCU right now, as hot as Kenny Hill is, and with the beautiful throws he's making downfield. I still think we see TCU play base defense.
See if they show any extra pressure. They're going to blitz. They brought 6, and Sutton over the middle has it broken up by Nico Small. Sutton at 6'4", 215, and Small over the middle at 180 broke it up.
What a play by Small. They brought them all. It was a change up, and Small's right there, just at the change to knock the ball out of Sutton's hands. The young safety. And that's 5'10" against 6'5".
Yep. Couple of breakups, 7 tackles tonight for him, and Des White back to return. Sackville punts it away. This one's a good sidewinder over the head and inside the 5. Gorgeous punt by Jamie Sackville. Completely flips the field for SMU's defense. Career long of 56. Scout team quarterback behind Trevon Boykin and Bram Kohlhausen as well, and he has taken over in a big way this year. And he fires complete to Daniel Walsh. And a couple of catches last week, and the walk-on has it at the 21-yard line on a gain of 18.
Interestingly enough, Kenny Hill played for Texas A&M against SMU in this stadium, so he's been here before.
He's got some history at South Lake Carroll, one of the great high school programs in the state of Texas. Off the fake and incomplete. A little bit too low for Emmanuel Porter that time. He's got one of his teammates on the other side, Jackson Mitchell. Those two played for South Lake Carroll. They lost to DeSoto 49-45 at this stadium in the quarterfinals of the 5A playoffs a few years ago. There's a couple DeSoto guys playing in this game too. Deep ball down the field and incomplete, looking for Emmanuel Porter. A couple of shots looking for one of his biggest targets. Horace Richardson was true on the coverage. Third down.
Yeah, DeSoto, South Lake Carroll, two of the best high school programs in history. Got the ball up high, just a little bit overthrown, and Horace Richardson's playing really well. And he has for that defense.
He has to right now. They're so young with the injury, the targeting penalty in the back end. They're throwing a couple of freshmen out there right now as the SMU defense.
Another important third down, so they can get some field position if they can keep them short of the chains here.
SMU only has 3 down linemen. They're only going to rush 3, so 8 back in coverage on 3rd and long. Hill on the screen. Here is Hicks, makes a man miss. First down, TCU. They couldn't convert in the first half, and they're making it happen here in the 3rd quarter.
What a play by Kyle Hicks in space. Kyron Mitchell, one of the better defensive players in space for SMU, misses the tackle.
That's very surprising.
He doesn't miss many. That is a good back in space.
That gives you a little bit of the sense of Hicks and his mobility. Derek Green, the transfer from Michigan, is in the backfield with Hill.
Big first down, changing the play, trips into the boundary.
We'll keep it on the ground with Green. Not much there. It's stacked up, leaping forward for maybe 1.5 yards, running into Mason Gentry. You'll see Christian McCaffrey in action against UCLA tomorrow on ABC. Saturday Night Football at 8 Eastern. Chris, Kirk, and Sam will be on the call. A huge road test for Stanford after they looked pretty solid against USC a week ago.
Can't wait to watch him.
And he has been something else. Touchdown last week as well. Hill And gets upended in the open field by another young player. True freshman out of Sugar Land, Mikhail Onu. Crucial play, and it sets up 3rd and long.
And once again,
TCU's got so much youth out there. Another player in space that makes a very good tackle because they've tackled well all night. Now you're seeing TCU slow down some. They're wanting to work some clock.
Approaching 2:50 to play in the 3rd.
Another big 3rd down. It does not look like SMU's going to blitz. Going to try to keep them in front of them, keep them in front of the chains.
Again, just a 3-man rush, so 8 back in coverage. Hill looking for a window, and he found it. First down inside the SMU 45, Jalen Austin. He's turned into a go-to man here in the 3rd quarter.
What a throw. Steps up into the pocket.
43-yard line.
He's so accurate.
TCU first down.
Very good throw for the 1st down.
Back to the ground they go, and Darius Anderson, another freshman, getting his first touch of the night, and he takes it to the 37.
And now we're seeing SMU's defense get a little bit tired, worn out, some injuries.
And the up-tempo for TCU continues with Anderson. Fresh legs out there for TCU, and another 1st down inside the 30. Running into Roan.
They're throwing it side to side. They're running it side to side. They're using the entire field now and making SMU chase them as they get tired at them.
Salpatisse Wilson with a nice block along the edge. They're getting some younger and fresher guys out on the field right now as TCU. Anderson, good block outside once again, but Kevin Johnson is able to run him down in space. So now Dylan Thomas gets in on the blocking. So you're seeing some guys that aren't necessarily 2 or 3 deep on the depth chart, just coming out there to freshen things up a little bit for TCU in this up-tempo.
Gary's recruited very well. They've got depth, and they're playing with a lot of confidence on both sides of the ball right now.
Got over 200 yards in this quarter alone.
Formation into the boundary. They're going to check the play.
Might have one-on-one at the top of that formation too, Coach. We'll run into that short side, or that wide side of the field rather. And Green on the option play, only about 1.5 yards. Good play by Pruitt and Johnson.
That was a good play because it looked like there was going to be space, and they made up the space very quickly on defense. Good tackles. Back to another 3rd down, but SMU's dropped 8 the last 2 times. I think we might see them come after them in this situation. Kenny Hill changing the play again, looking to Doug Meacham. What you love about coaching, are they going to bring more than...
SMU might have changed it up too. They're only going to rush 3 again. Hill over the middle to Diarse, and John Diarse with another big catch here in the 3rd quarter. That one another 3rd down conversion for 15 yards.
These guys should be catching them because he's putting them on the money.
Oh,
he's got protection. He stands tall. He's playing with so much confidence, and SMU is going to have to reevaluate dropping 8.
that'll take us to the end of this 3rd quarter. Kenny Hill getting it done on 3rd down. They've converted 3rd and long 3 times here in the 3rd quarter, and they've taken a 3-score lead. They're on the doorstep interception, and he's got 1st down in the red zone for TCU, already up by 17 to start the 4th. Being twisted around and finally heaves it to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Justin Lawler, we have not called Justin's name since the 1st quarter when we talked about our impact guys, and they have neutralized probably the best defensive frontman for SMU tonight.
Yeah, he's passionate, he's tough, and he needed to get back to Kenny Hill more. Real heady play by Kenny Hill, throwing that ball out of bounds and keeping it from being a sack and lost yardage.
Lawler leads this team with 4.5 sacks this year. 3.5 came in the opener. On 2nd down, here's Hicks. Shuffled to the outside, and a good job in space by Kevin Johnson to at least catch up to him and prevent the touchdown. And it will bring up a 3rd down play for TCU offensively.
Inside, but this young man is explosive. He's patient. He looks inside, he bounces outside, he outruns Kevin Johnson. Kevin gets him by the ankle, but he's got it back now in a measurable situation with 3rd down and 5, and they've got the entire playbook as they start looking at 2 downs here to get your 1st down.
And you talked about it, Mac. This quarter, they've been so good. This current drive, the second half, they've been so good. 15th play of this drive.
Fade or quarterback draw. It's usually what you get.
Blitz from SMU. Hill under pressure, got rid of it. He had an open man in the middle of the field, but he could not find Dylan Thomas. Lawler was closing in on him.
I think Justin Lawler heard you, Adam, because he's back there in Kenny Hill's face. This is a touchdown. They bring them all, but Lawler gets there and forces the quick throw. They had him for a touchdown, and Kenny knows that he got it out of his hands a little too quickly and missed his mark.
So Ryan Graff has made a couple of field goals tonight from 46 and from 20, but now Brandon Hatfield will get a shot. The left footer from this angle, and off the upright, he's able to bang it in somehow. A 25-yarder for Hatfield. That was a little bit more heart-pounding than I'm sure Gary Patterson was hoping for. And a crucial stand by SMU to keep it at a 3-score game.
Absolutely, and this one looked ugly, but it still counts as 3, Adam. So it does not matter how it looks. You hit on the inside of that pole and it goes through. It all looks the same on Saturday morning in the stats.
They've used multiple kickers. You got to replace Jaden Oberchrome, who made 79 field goals in his outstanding TCU career. Graff and Hatfield combining for 3 field goals tonight, 9 points, and it stays at a 3-score game. Big night on a Friday for Gary Patterson and TCU. They go back to Big 12 play next week, and they've got to go on the road in a tough environment against Oklahoma. SMU will open up American Conference play against Temple. By the way, I should say that TCU stays home, go back home against Oklahoma. Still, that being said, Oklahoma, we saw what happened at home in Norman a couple of weeks or last week against Ohio State. Impressive showing by the Buckeyes, who are probably still a little under the radar somehow, even though they're ranked very highly. James Prochet gets driven back, and he's stocked up at the 17-yard line. Speaking of big-time teams, we'll have 2 big SEC matchups for you tomorrow night on ESPN. Gus Malzahn, Auburn, hosting Leonard Fournette at 6 Eastern, and then Texas A&M and Arkansas down the road. Joe Tessitore will have the call with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe. Joe checked in with us, said Brett Bielema plans on neutralizing one of the best defensive ends in the country, and Myles Garrett wants to take it right to him, be physical against that elite speed of the Texas A&M defense. That'll be tomorrow night from down the road in Jerry World. Freeman. And not much, about 3 yards. Make a Carmouche on the run, another freshman.
Adam, one of the problems when you start talking about blocking Myles Garrett, they've got Deshaun Hall on the other side, and John Chavis does a great job coaching that defense. So that'll be a fun game to watch.
No doubt.
They got 2 really good pass rushers.
Is scary off the edge going up against that big offensive line. Hicks under pressure, and down he goes. L.J. Collier led the charge, the redshirt sophomore. How does Ben Hicks react to that? Let's go down to Dawn Davenport.
Yeah, guys, you've talked about it. Coach Chad Morris talked to Ben Hicks about his body language, said when things are going wrong, you can tell with him. I've been watching him for quite a while. Coach challenged him to work on that, and he really has. He's been up and talking with Cortland Sutton. They were making adjustments together. He ran over to his O-line a couple of times when he thought they were going to get back on that field. That last possession told them not to check out, to stay in this one. They can still score.
Sutton at the top of the formation, Dawn. Hicks under pressure again, lets it fly near the sticks with a flag thrown. Prochet was able to make the grab right at the line to gain, which was the 27. We'll see what Dan Romeo has for us.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. Penalty is declared.
Well, they'll take the yardage gained and the first down to the 27-yard line. Gary Patterson clearly frustrated with that penalty against Tejada.
When Dom was talking about Ben Hicks, he sat in there and got hit really hard, turned the ball loose for an important first down.
Four-man rush once again. Hicks makes the catch at the 40-yard line, does Cortland Sutton. He is the safety valve.
Ben does a good job of stepping up in the pocket, going toward the receiver, throws it to Sutton outside.
And right back to the ground in Carmouche. He gets stacked up right about the 45, so maybe a yard and a half on the play. Carmouche will come out, and Cayman Freeman comes back in, so they're rotating those freshmen tonight. With no Jones, Braden West has been dealing with a bit of a shoulder issue. The sophomore who had a big week last week against Liberty, so they are shorthanded in the backfield. Another four-man rush, and Hicks over the middle. He connects. He'll spot the football at the 49 as Myron Galliard made the grab. A redshirt freshman with his third career catch, but only 3 yards as Howard was right there to shut it down.
Howard's been all over the field tonight. It's been fun to watch.
Getting back to full speed is Howard, their leading tackler from last year.
Another third down. Looks like TCU is going to play base.
They're going to rush 4 again. Hicks off balance, now sets, now fires, nearly intercepted. Incomplete. He was looking for his safety guy. That is Cortland Sutton, but Nick Orr, junior out of DeSoto, was right there.
Yeah, Nick's a very good football player. He was a corner, moved to safety. He's another hybrid guy. Got his hands on that ball. Got to catch that one, Nick. But Ben Hicks didn't find what he wanted. He stepped up and he forced that one. That's really the first ball that he's forced tonight.
Sackville line for the punt.
So Sackville sends it into the air, and a fair catch is signaled. 8th punt of the night, and TCU's got the ball back up by 20. Matchup down the road in Arlington, Texas, with Texas A&M and Arkansas. Stanford goes on the road to UCLA. Huge games tomorrow on the ESPN networks. And former A&M QB Kenny Hill back to work. He's had a dynamite second half. And it's White on a cut block in the open field, but White is able to push his way out to the 24-yard line, brought down by Cox. Anything stick out tomorrow to you when you're going to be sitting in the studio?
I think the games that we've talked about, we want to see if Stanford for real. Can their quarterback play better? Can anybody stop Christian McCaffrey? And the other thing is, I want to see A&M Arkansas. After watching Arkansas against TCU, that'll be a fun one to watch.
Double overtime, back and forth slugfest between A&M and Arkansas a couple of weeks ago. Hill on the move, and as he tucks it and runs it, he runs past the sticks. Right at him. He's marked out of bounds at the 29-yard line as Carlos Carroll got into him. I'm going to mark him out just shy. Third down and short. Taking off plenty of time.
Changing the play. Got a bunch of them in the box.
And they've stuck 7 in there as SMU. They only bring 5. And Kenny Hill will have the first down. Got hit first by Jordan Williams, but Kenny Hill will move the sticks to the 34-yard line. Yeah, I don't want to project too far ahead. I don't want to look too far ahead. But, I mean, Christian McCaffrey's got a big game the week after. Louisville Clemson is the week after. I mean, there are some major games coming up as well. So this 2-week gauntlet for a lot of the teams. This is kind of the time of the year where you're really starting to see who's for real. You said that about Stanford. You really want to see if they're the number 7 top 10 team in the country. I think this is the time where we're going to figure it out. First down, and slinging it outside for Thomas. Solid yardage across the 40.
Another missed tackle in space. Coach Malone's going to be after him tomorrow about keeping the head up, and SMU's lost a lot of guys to injury off this football team. I think you just mentioned the 3 guys that I would say were the 3 leaders for the Heisman.
Yeah, Louisville, Clemson, Stanford, those 3 stars.
Absolutely. Right now, those guys are proving it week after week, and Stanford's beaten UCLA 5 times in a row. So that'll be interesting tomorrow night.
That's right. Good stretch for Stanford against UCLA. Tide has turned in California as Kenny Hill takes a deep shot for Taj Williams. Has it at the 21-yard line in SMU territory. Made the grab in front of Jordan Wyatt, who had to exit the game for a couple of series. He's back in there, and Williams beat him.
That was such a good job in man-to-man coverage of Kenny, leading the ball away from the man coverage, away from the defender for the completion.
Quick one to Williams. Wyatt is right there to close out the play, but picks up positive yardage, 4 on first down. Deshaun Watson, big last night. Impressive game for Clemson. You're talking about Lamar Jackson. We saw him dismantle Syracuse a couple of weeks ago and then did it again against Florida State. And then McCaffrey. There's your top 3, I'm guessing.
It is, and all 3 defenses have been good. Last night,
right.
Clemson's defense totally dominated Georgia Tech.
I think I was more impressed with the defense than I was with Watson, in all honesty, last night.
I coached against Brent Venables when he was at Oklahoma.
Right.
And he does as good a job as anybody year in and year out in the country. Clemson's recruited well, and they've played outstanding defense since Brent's been there.
And again, think about who was on that staff for a long time. It was Chad Morris. He was right there with Deshaun Watson. He was the one who recruited him out of the state of Georgia, was in his home state last night, getting the win on the road against Georgia Tech. But it was Chad, who was a highly paid offensive coordinator at Clemson, and he has taken over here at SMU.
Bringing them all on 3rd down and short.
3rd down and 2. Mustangs load the line, and they will bring the heat. So it's 1-on-1 on that little in-cut. Incomplete, looking for Porter.
You kick field goal here all the way.
Yep.
Get a little bit deeper. Emmanuel Porter needed to catch that ball. Really good check by Kenny Hill. You see him at the line of scrimmage. He sees one-on-one coverage. Those receivers want the ball thrown to him. Better catch it, because that young man's going to put it on the mark. What a night by Kenny Hill.
So Hatfield is out for his 2nd consecutive attempt. This will be from 30 yards. Remember, he's the left footer. And a very smooth looking rotation right down the middle. TCU extends the lead inside 7 to play here in Dallas. They get together and they say, hey, why don't we play for a trophy? Why don't we use this skillet as a trophy? And the student councils agreed on it. That's not as fun for me, personally, I don't think. TCU with a 23-point lead, SMU football. Inside of 7 to play when you come back. The stops that they needed in the second half to keep that a game. So Hicks under pressure on first down and will launch it away. He was not out of the tackle box, and there didn't seem to be a receiver in the area. So this may very well be a loss it down at the spot of an intentional grounding penalty. And indeed, that is the case.
Yeah, SMU's not the type team that can come back and have to throw it every time
Intentional
against
grounding.
TCU.
Offense, number 8, was in the pocket, threw the ball into an area where there was no eligible receiver. Then it'll be enforced at the spot of the foul. Wants it down. 2nd out.
I will say that we had SMU twice last year.
Right.
And this team is so much better than the ones we saw. And they had Matt Davis.
That's right.
So he's lost a lot of people, but Chad Morris, I said it last year, he's the guy for this job. He knows the Texas high school coaches. He coached 16 years here. He's been at Clemson. He did it right. He taught Deshaun Watson. He is the guy to get this done in time at SMU.
Ben Hicks was the first of those signees Incomplete pass looking for Castile. 3rd down and long coming up. You said it. 47 signees in the first 2 recruiting classes for Morris. And Ben Hicks was the first of all of them. And all of them are Texas kids from Texas high schools. So the fact that Chad Morris has such connections as a high school coach in this state, and a very successful one at that, has been a tremendous help for recruiting what is a hotbed, as most people know, of college football talent.
And Ben was highly recruited. He could have gone to a lot of schools, and he's shown a lot of promise tonight.
He was a top 25 pocket passer, according to our ESPN rankings in high school. Michigan offered him, Houston offered him, Florida and Texas Tech. SMU will have to use a timeout. We'll step aside. Local communities all week long, and you can learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers by visiting cfp-foundation.org. Ben Hicks downfield, Prochet in double coverage, and James Prochet, the redshirt freshman, comes down with an impressive catch in TCU territory.
What a catch. And another young guy from DeSoto, and it was over Tejada again, who had the interference call a few minutes ago. But he threw it up high. Outstanding throw by Hicks. Prochet jumps up and makes the play. Forward. They're going to get better and better.
Hicks is going to take another deep shot. Cortland Sutton ended up being the intended target and kind of got into it a little bit with Tejada, almost pushing him off the ball on an underthrown pass. 2nd down.
This is valuable time for Ben Hicks. He's learning. He's changing plays. He's under pressure. So it's an important time in his growth. They go to Temple next week for a conference game. So what he learns tonight, even in this last 6 minutes, will help him when he goes on the road next week.
Emptying out the set, and a 4-man TCU rush. Hicks rifles one. Was it intercepted? Nico Small was in the area and picked it off. Take a look at this to see if it hit the ground. And that looked like a clean pick. It seemed like all the way through the process. Nico Small, 5'10" sophomore. Certainly rule him as maybe undersized for the secondary. A tumbling interception to go along with 7 tackles tonight.
Yeah, first-year starter. What a night he's had tonight. And it looks like a lot of the concerns that Gary Patterson had on his defense, they fixed those tonight, and that'll be important as they get the long week to prepare for Oklahoma next week in Fort Worth. And Oklahoma's off tomorrow, so that'll be a great matchup to start the Big 12 play for those guys.
Maybe not the records that we expected for those two teams going into that game.
But one thing that happens, Adam, you start over. Look at this big guy.
Travoris Johnson, redshirt junior. Houston kid to the 34.
One thing that happens is you have an early season, and then you start your conference play, and everything starts over. It's all about winning the conference, so every coach is saying those early games are out. Let's start over. Got new goals. We're undefeated in our conference.
Johnson again. Man, look at the flexing he's doing right now to work his way to the 44-yard line. You know, it's an open conference, you know, the Big 12 right now, and I think a lot of folks believe that it's currently on its darkest timeline. But that being said, TCU is 1-0 in conference play. I think the thought is that there may not be a shot really for the Big 12 in the college football playoff because of what has looked like a sluggish start. But I mean, we've seen it happen before. There's a little pop pass downfield. What a catch. Impressive play by Travante Heights. Kenny Hill making a little magic happen late in the game. 42-yard play.
Kenny gets a flash on play action. Watch how quickly he gets it out of his hands. He sees it. He sees the fade open. He throws it perfectly to the wide receiver outside on the fade.
What a night for Kenny Hill. And it's Travoris Johnson into the end zone for a TCU capper tonight.
And Adam, I know Chad Morris really well. He will not be happy with that defensive drive. He is not going to let these guys let up, and it looks like on that drive they let up. They've got to keep playing till this thing's over.
It only took 4 plays for them to go 75 yards down the field. So Hatfield on for the extra points. 33-3 TCU. They've racked up 593 total yards of offense. Almost 400 in this half alone. Trevoris Johnson with the dagger tonight for the Horn. ESPN tomorrow night.
And I think Trevor Knight's ability to still manage the offense and not turn the ball over. He's done a very good job for the first 3 weeks.
Hicks gets swallowed up. Good penetration by Broadnax and Galliai. You know, Auburn and LSU, I'm thinking about just what LSU needs to do. I mean, it's on the road now. Danny Etling has taken over. Transfer that comes in and steps into the role. Everybody's been talking about it. Get a quarterback and you got a shot. An LSU championship caliber just about everywhere. Can Danny Etling be the guy from what you've seen so far?
I think he can. We'll see tomorrow night for sure, because you know Auburn's going to stack the box and try to stop Leonard Fournette.
Incomplete on the sideline, looking for Castile, and it brings up 3rd down and long.
Very tough time right now for SMU. They're not capable of blocking the down lineman for the TCU defense. They know they're going to throw it every time, so this is not what they do best right now. So it's a difficult time on 3rd and long.
Well, Don told us Nick Nator, who was just filling in at left tackle because of Pursley's injury before the year, had an issue today with an injury. Braylon Hyder had to start at left guard because Daniel McCarty is out. Some key positions banged up on the offensive line for SMU. TCU rushing just 4. And Hicks with a nice pass to Sutton for a 1st down.
Ben shows the ability to throw it downfield with an outstanding arm. He's a better passer, pure passer, than Matt Davis. He just got to make sure he controls himself within the pocket. But when you got a receiver like Sutton out there, Porsche, they've got a chance to move the ball. They've just got to be more consistent.
Hicks again, little comeback route, some separation created by Kevin Thomas out on the perimeter. Good play near midfield.
They do feel like they'll get McCarty back as an offensive lineman. This again is a pinpoint throw to the outside. It's the only way it can be completed.
Oof. Excellent play.
Another good throw by Hicks.
Hicks downfield, too tall. He was looking for Kaufman, and it is intercepted by Nick Orr. Boy, Small and Orr, those guys have been really good in coverage tonight on the back end for TCU. That has not been a strength early in the season. They've showed up, especially here in the second half. So another turnover. TCU takes over with 3:21 to play, and their offense has been the second half story tonight.
It really has. Gary Patterson did not feel like they've played a complete game throughout the year. But these guys have come out and had 5 second-half possessions. Shortest drive was 68 yards, and they've done it through the air. They've done it on the ground. Gets the ball out quickly to his receiver on the fade. And I think we saw Kenny Hill Jr. grow up tonight. And we got to remember their best football player by and large, Kavontae Turpin, is out of this ball game. Impressive night.
Indeed done, and Foster Sawyer, who played a major role at times last season when Trevon Boykin was hurt. He steps into the game. Redshirt sophomore out of Fort Worth, Texas, making his 6th career appearance in a TCU uniform. Remember the game last year against Kansas when Boykin hurt his ankle? He was very crucial to TCU getting that win against a Kansas team that really threatened TCU last year.
They're going to let the clock run now.
Yep.
Foster Sawyer was very highly recruited out of All Saints there near Fort Worth. Very good football player.
A top 5 quarterback out of high school. He gives to Preston Miller. So Gary Patterson emptying out his bench a little bit here. Kenny Hill, though, was a tremendous story tonight. 31 of 45 for over 450 yards. And remember, he threw the interception in the first half and really locked in terms of accuracy after that.
Well, the best thing for him, and they said this, is he's got such an even personality that when he throws an interception, he goes right back the next play like it hasn't happened. And that's what we've seen tonight. He's been very impressive, and I promise you, the Oklahoma defense has been watching this game tonight. letting the clock run.
Down to 2 minutes. Sawyer patting those feet. He gets drilled. Well, the sophomore out of Robinson, Texas, Matt McNew. First career sack for him as he just drills Foster Sawyer. A fourth down.
For the sack.
Florida State on the road to start the day. Georgia, Ole Miss. A big one tomorrow as well. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville will have the call for you. Iowa, what a heartbreaker they suffered against a team we saw all the way back in week 0 in late August, North Dakota State. What a win for the Bison.
Well, it'll be dangerous for Rutgers because Iowa's been cussed all week by the media and their fans, so they'll be ready to play. Georgia, Ole Miss should be fun. Both of them need a win. Willie Taggart's done a good job at South Florida. Can they give Florida State fits?
And they have in the past. Last year, South Florida gave Florida State a ball game as that punt is muffed and then recovered by SMU's Kevin Thomas.
Yeah, they gave them fits and just gave out at the end.
Yep.
Just didn't have enough depth.
SMU will face South Florida. And remember, South Florida is a team that was picked to win the East in the American Conference. This will be the second year of the American Conference Championship game. I know a lot of eyes are going to go towards October the 22nd when Houston comes here to take on SMU. And that is going to be a major game. So how about SMU? They get to host the two favorites in the two divisions in the American Conference between Houston and South Florida. Freeman is in at quarterback, and he ends up giving to Carmouche as we duck inside of a minute.
If SMU can get some of these guys back, they'll keep getting better. And my friend Tom Herman down at Houston, they're a marked school now. Everywhere they go and everybody they play has got Houston circled on that schedule. So
they're no longer the hunter. They're the hunted now.
Absolutely. And they deserve it because after that Oklahoma win, then winning at Cincinnati, they're off to an outstanding start.
Well, there is Freeman again. Excellent high school quarterback, as you mentioned, but he gets shut down inside a half a minute to play. So TCU, as we said, back to Big 12 play. When they take on Oklahoma, American Conference play starts up for SMU against Temple. And a Friday night to lead you right into a stacked Saturday. Gary Patterson's bunch, after putting up just 6 in the first half, shuts out SMU in the second half, explodes offensively. Gary Patterson with the win.